the sun sets on 2024 and rises on a new horizon, Nigerians across the nation stand at the crossroad of reflection and ambition. What do we hope for in 2025? What should be our resolutions for a brighter future? Join us as we delve into prospect for 2025, Nigerians' expectations and resolutions. A conversation about aspirations, challenges, and collective drive to make the new year count. The future starts now. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on the last episode of Saturday Discourse in 2024. My name is Abdullah Hajia, your uncle. Do join us again after this time out. Let's begin with the stories. Properties worth billions of naira were ravished by fire in Masaka Market in Karu local government area of Nasarawa State. Blessing and Fulani reports that the victims are coming to terms with the sad realities.
These rubbles were once in good shape for commercial activities in this market. Last night, it were gutted by an inferno which affected over 100 business owners who are still counting their losses as goods worth billions of naira were completely razed down. The cause of the fire outbreak, which raged for hours, is yet to be ascertained. However, eyewitnesses said it was eventually put off with the help of fire service personnel.
What I have saw with my eye yesterday, seriously, it is very, very terrible. It's very unfortunate. A lot of traders lost things worth of millions of naira.
The whole of this site got burned, but because of the help of the fire service, they were able to quench this site.
The victims of the disastrous episode appealed for government's intervention.
We don't know what is bringing this fire. We don't know. We don't know. We really feel bad. We feel bad about it.
We are into loan from commercial bank, microfinance bank, and other ones. At least we need to get the government to come to our aid.
We are pleading for the government. Let them help us because
Chairman Karu local government area Aliu Madaki, who visited the scene, assured them of government support.
All the security agencies you can think of were on ground. Even the Serkin Masaka with his health challenge condition was also around. We cannot just see much now. Assessment is going on.
We are trying to go on assessment just like the chairman has said. We are trusting God that at times God will come out with the plans.
It would be recalled that a few years ago, the sub-market had experienced similar incident. Blessing and Fulani, NTA News.
The Nigerian Police Force has issued a stern warning against the continued misuse of the name and office of the Inspector General of Police by fraudulent individuals and unprofessional officers. In a statement, the force expressed concern over the persistent misconduct of a few officers whose actions tarnish the image of the institution and erode public trust have resulted to fraudulent practices, including falsely invoking the name and office of the IGP to intimidate or exploit unsuspecting individuals. The police force emphasized that such acts are not authorized by the IGP and urged members of the public to report any misconduct or suspicious behavior. Citizens are advised to be cautious of individuals claiming connections with the IGP or other senior officers for favor or influence to report such misconduct. Such misconduct can be reported or directed to the following officials: DCP Akin Fakorede, Head IGP Monitoring Unit on 081 84 4077 77076. ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, First Public Relations Officer, on 08037168147. CP Taiwo Oyewale, Head IGP Investigation Unit, on 08069318238. SP Sheriff Lawal, ADC to the IGP, on 08094712605. Engaging in unlawful business is something worth appreciating. However, for some traders, they convey their commodities and vehicles from carefree access to the markets of the FCT, satellite towns of Masaka, Karu, Mararaba, and Nyanya in a strange way. Muhammad Awelu tells us more.
Wherever you scan your eyes in these terminals in Kefi, the images that are conspicuous are those of traders with their wares, boarding different types of vehicles such as pickup vans, buses, cars among others for markets of FCT satellite towns like Masaka, Karu, Nyanya, Mararaba, as well as other towns in Nasarawa West for commercial activities. The visiting about some of these merchants is their preference to embark on business trip, sitting precariously on top of these vehicles.
We are comfortable traveling like this. God is in control. Just wish us safe trip.
As leaders, we have to economize the way we operate. There is no cause for alarm.
Despite the reasons advanced by these traders for their action, Zone 7 Unit Commander, Federal Safety Corps, Sabitu Abdul, says they have been sensitizing the vehicle operators, especially commercial drivers, on the danger associated with overloads and recklessness.
We call it misloading, where goods and people join together in a vehicle. You see a vehicle heavily loaded, and on top of the good you see human being. It's uncalled for. The management of FRSC has given directive to all the command to ensure full enforcement as regard to this, and we are doing it. The safety on the road is everybody's responsibility. We are not only focusing on the drivers. If you observe, when there is crashed, maybe it's just one passenger out of one driver out of maybe 18 people. Who is the majority? Is this the driver or the passenger? So the passengers too, they need to speak out.
Eking out a living is legitimate. However, there is need for these dealers to strike a balance between safety of their lives and the profit they will gain from the business. From Kefi, Muhammad Awalu, NTA News.
Now, as the countdown to end the year continues, Nigerians remain optimistic about 2025 with high expectations for economic growth, improved governance, and enhanced quality of life. Serafina Okun Omekwe in this Vox Pop took to the streets to get diverse views on some key areas where the people look forward to positive changes with results to focus on career development and entrepreneurship and self-improvement.
In 2025, I like to see that there's less insecurity. I like to see that the Naira appreciates, that the country gets easier. Things are easier for people to buy because people are suffering a lot right now. So I'd like to see things change for us for the better. Yeah.
I think they should make the financial issue more available right now, because I think students actually find it very hard right now when it comes to finances. Foods are now very expensive and all those stuff. I think they should bring down those prices of things down. It will help students a whole lot. Yeah.
And in 2025, I hope that they can increase the academic standard in Nigeria. So I want that to change. I want more practical exercises to be done in schools. And in the healthcare sector too, we don't need people to be going out to do major operations. It will be much better for us if they can stay in the country. Because if people are going to school to be doctors, then they should go to hospitals to work and treat our own people.
The three tax bill that is being planned is in the right direction, because it's going to ensure that there is a redistribution of wealth, because those that are in the upper echelon of the society are going to be taxed appropriately.
Yeah, I think they can provide more infrastructure and focus on grassroots football, because there are like many talented footballers around that are even better than the international stars we have, but the government don't bring the football to the grassroots level. They prefer to go away, like to foreign countries, to bring stars trying nowadays. If you check their movies, it has improved compared to before. The standard and everything. You see, like the movie Jennifer acted of recent, she made a good movie. Then the Seven Doors wasn't that bad. I watched the trailer and the movie seems to be okay. So I think that's all. Then the music, they are actually trying. Kudos to Wizkid, Burna Boy, and Davido. I think they are representing us well. Thank you.
Beautiful expectations there from Nigerians and FCT residents there. And I think at this moment I'm being joined by Koshile Mokhtar. He is the FCT resident Non-Indigenous Youth Association president, as well as a youth development expert. He has so many titles, but we are glad to have him join us on Saturday Discourse tonight.
Thank you. Good evening.
All right, Mr. Kosh, you just watched some of the expectations of Nigerians and FCT residents. Are they different from what you're expecting?
Well, compliment of the season once again to FCT resident Nigerians and people in the studio. Well, you know, when citizen speaks, they speak the mind of others. We are in Nigeria together, and we all know how we are feeling in the country. What they have said is to remind the government that there's a lot for government to do. There cannot be perfection anywhere. There's no system that is perfect anywhere in the world. And one thing that I have not seen anybody speak about is the security situation of our country. Before this government came on board, we all know how tense the situation of the security was, and we all know what it is now. I'm talking about the situation of security in Nigeria as a whole, talk less of the FCT where we reside. Again, of course, people talk about hardship, but when the government came, one of the first speech of Mr. President was that he want to be holistic in his administration of the country, Nigeria. And when you're holistic, you will be very direct and very deliberate to put so many things in shape. And one of his very key reasons of putting things in shape was what we are feeling now. And as a youth leader and a Nigerian, we want to still ask people to be patient with government while we see how the country unfolds.
Okay, well, 2024 is just about, leaving us, and we're approaching 2025. What, in your own observation, would you say are some of the landmark achievements we've seen, particularly in the FCT? Now, let's narrow it down to the FCT where we are. In the FCT, we've seen a lot of project execution. I don't know if you looked at it from the same lens.
Yes, FCT in Nigeria now, there's a slogan going around that we have only two ministers in Nigeria, that's the Minister of FCT and others. Of course, the Minister of Youth Development is also doing very great, which falls under my own purview. Coming to FCT, we have it at its best now, having a man who is deliberate at achieving so much. And we'll talk about infrastructure because I saw some market being burnt, and reason could not be far-fetched from infrastructural deficit. What the minister is doing now is to create a very good future for the young ones. For instance, in Apple, they are relocating the marketers to somewhere that they can be there and they can call their own. So they can live where we have access roads. In FCT, people tend development to be hardship. People tend development to people maligning them or trying to make them feel bad. I can see people writing so many bad things about the administration. No, we are in this Abuja before and we know how it was before. For instance, civil service, when the minister came, he said, see, everybody as Ministry of FCT is like a normal ministry and it's like a state also. So somebody can rise from level OA to becoming a permanent secretary. It is from the wicked administration that we have witnessed that. Now they have FCT Civil Service Commission, they have a permanent secretary circle, they have head of service, they have a lot of that. In FCT, we have for the first time the minister gave a youth women development secretariat. Because when there's the slogan that says no woman, no nation. So when the minister came and realized that women development, women advocacy, genuineness of women, what they need to stride upon, their questions are not being articulated to the right channel. It gave them women development secretariat, and they are doing very well. After that, when we also met a colossus of FCT youth leaders, I would say, the minister, sir, we also need what we call FCT Youth Development Secretariat. He said within 1 week, I'll speak with the president, and it was also given. So what less can you speak of a minister who listens and reacts? Apart from that, when you talk about healthcare, it's doing perfect. When you talk about education, I'm sure recently he went and tied the road that leads to the Nigerian Law School. It's also part of educational development. It's building accommodation for the lecturers and hostels for the students of the law school. It's part of our educational development. It's also battling very hard to make sure that before he leaves, Abuja University of Technology in Abaji will come to stay, and scholarship and the rest. So this, if we start to announce or speak to all the development efforts of the minister, will not live here today.
Okay, well, I think most of what you've said now are mostly tied to the city. And let's also look at the satellite town where we have the area councils, apart from Amak, which is in the municipal. We have Abaji, we still have communities that are still yearning for development. Yes, we will say maybe, we have seen road being flagged off, inaugurated, but there are still communities that are still far from the, what you're saying.
Yes, what you are trying to say is also one of the policy thrusts of the Honorable Minister. I am not a spokesperson to the administration, but because of my nature of youth development, we are close to some of his achievements. The minister was also deliberate in making sure that what we call the ease of doing business is very key. And how does he achieve that? He went to the local government, the area councils, and opened up the road. If you go to Kuje now, from the flyover to inside of Kuje, you will see a very beautiful, very large road under construction. If you go to inside Kuje, where we talk about the villages in Kuje, they are not local government roads, they are not federal roads, they are state roads being constructed by the minister. If you go to Kwali, there are places that, in fact, the song they sing in Kwali now is give us the wicked bani, because they are very happy that if you are traveling to Lokoja, the express road that leads from Gwagwalada to Lokoja, I don't know if it's a federal road or it's a state road. I'm aware that it's being done by the Honorable Minister. So if all those roads are being done, goods will be moved from interstate, goods will be moved, because FCT, the indigenes are very predominantly known to be farmers. So when they farm their produce and they are trying to bring it to the city, they'll be discouraged. Okay, and also trying to decentralize the civil service system. Posted, so if you see, for instance, FCT IRS, FCT Internal Revenue Services, they have more of their workforce in the local area, in the area council, so they can also develop all those area councils. And I'm aware that some staff will also be posted there. So people will not have reason to come and congest because the area council is there for them to have a say.
Can you quickly talk to us, quickly but briefly, what other areas you think we are yet to feel the impact? You can't say everything has been done.
Well, the only thing we'll ask is like an Oliver twist. When somebody gives you something, you ask for more. Why asking for more? We ask that more, what do we call it? divisional offices are being built for the police.
Okay.
I understand he bought some vehicles recently where the area council chairman of Amas even got by saying he doesn't have money for security. The minister has provided vehicles.
Okay.
The minister should also build more divisional offices. Youth development also.
Okay.
There should be youth money, more funds so that youth can also have it at the fair, because the cumbersome nature of FCT, we have all the 36 states of Nigeria here in Abuja, and the challenges are enormous.
Thank you very much, Mr. Coach Mokhtar. Always a delight having you on our program. The FCT Resident Non-Indigenous Youth Association, also youth development expert, for coming on Saturday Discourse to share your thoughts with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll go on a short break, and when we return, the news continues in a moment. Do stay with us.
Relive your delightful moments via a telecast. Tell the world what gave you your happiness or pains, and for the how, where, and why. Share your joys of coronation, chieftaincy orders, engagement parties, traditional wedding ceremonies, weddings fatiha, nikah, naming ceremony, church programs, housewarming, inaugurations, award nights, school and social events, or moments of grief like burial ceremonies with many others. Don't let your events pass and your story not be told on Memories every Saturday, 7:30 p.m. on this station. Memories, making your events memorable.
Sports brief is next from our sports desk.
Nasarawa United and Rivers United have been summoned by the Nigerian Professional Football League to appear before an inquest on January 10, 2025 in Abuja, following incidents that occurred during their March 18 fixture. Meanwhile, the president of the Nigerian Olympic Committee, Engineer Habu Ahmed Gumel, has been appointed as the president of the Finance Commission of Federation International de Volleyball. And the Confederation of African Football has announced Tanzania as the host country for the inaugural edition of the Under-17 Women's African Cup of Nations, scheduled to take place in 2025. Finally, Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen has confirmed his intention to remain at Galatasaray until the end of the current season, ending speculation about the possible departure in the January transfer window. With Sports Brief, Wayne Lugu, NTA News.
Well, still on sports and news just reaching us says the Super Eagles of Nigeria have qualified for the CHAN 2025 after beating the Black Galaxies of Ghana 3-1 at the Gosula Pavio Stadium in Uyo. We'll say congratulations to Nigeria and the Super Eagles 10B. Well, on that note, we come to the end of Saturday Discourse for this year and for this week. Do join us again next year in another episode of the program. Continue to be patriotic. I am Abdullah Hatia. Good evening.